And it's time now to crown the 2A state softball champion. It'll be either Grandview Prep or Pine Castle. The Eagles from Pine Castle and the pride of Grandview Prep. Kelly Neff with you along with Mark Human. Well, a windy day, but certainly a nice day to play the 2A final, huh?
That's a beautiful day, especially compared to yesterday and all the rain. And the wind is going straight out to the left. Today it was going straight in from the left last night.
Well, Pine Castle is going to be the home team, so let's take a look at the starting lineup as we get started for Grandview Prep at 21-5 under third-year coach Neil Catapano. They'll be leading off the first baseman Hunter Scharf, who was the pitcher yesterday. Batting second will be the center fielder Marissa Samayago. At catcher will be Gina Capitini batting third. Today's pitcher hitting fourth, Jane Sallin. Jesse Harms is the third baseman hitting in the number 5 spot. Batting in the number 6 position, the designated player, Mackenzie Hart. Batting 7th and playing left field is Taylor Russo. Batting in the number 8 spot for Grandview Prep and playing shortstop is Caitlin Conrad. Batting 9th will be the right fielder, Summer Burgess. The non-hitting second baseman is Lexi Baer. Defensively, for Pine Castle in the outfield left to right, you'll have Anna Heffelbauer, Shelby Caniglio, and Alex Thomas. The infield third to first, Becca Carr, Emily Carasoni, Lisa Richhart, and Audrey Smith. The catcher is Casey Gearhard, and the pitcher is Caitlin Bitterman. Bitterman has an earned run average of 2.22, and Mark, for state tournament stats that we've seen so far, that's kind of high.
Well, it's high, but you have to factor in the fact that they played 5 or 6 8A teams in the area, played against Gulliver Prep, who's going to be here tomorrow, and against Trinity Prep, who's going to be here this week. So she's done a pretty good job, and Mark Richard, her head coach, said that now for a couple bad innings that her ERA would be even lower than that.
She has thrown 10 shutouts this year and has struck out 124 batters in 120 innings. Leading off will be Hunter Scharf, left-handed batter, hitting at .481, 2 home runs on the year, 17 driven in. As Grandview Prep wearing the red jerseys, we are underway with a pitch that sails high, ball 1. Well, with the wind blowing out, does either team have an advantage? I mean, I know that Pine Castle can hit with power.
Pine Castle has a couple of pretty big righty sticks, and they're 3, 4, and 5. And Emily, the leadoff hitter, has home run power to all fields.
Carasoni, the leadoff batter. She is the shortstop. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike on the leadoff batter, Hunter Scharf. The delivery, and that one is slapped, and it's just in front of the plate. Catcher Gearhard throws to first, not in time. And Scharf becomes the first base runner.
In fast pitch softball with that slap, once that ball hits the ground once or twice with a young lady with her speed, with Scharf's speed, there's really no way to get her out.
That'll bring us to Marissa Samaniago. She is hitting .424, no home runs, 12 runs batted in. How do you play small ball this early? Do you play small ball top of the first?
I would try to get a run across just because as a coach, I feel so much better inside if I have a lead.
There's a bunt. First baseman drops it. Aubrey Smith not able to make the play, and there's runners at first and second with nobody out.
And what we see there is the idea that we want to make the defense make 3 plays. She had to field it, throw it, and then someone else had to catch it. And she wasn't able to make one of those this time. So I might even bunt again.
Get a couple of runners in scoring position. Here's Gina Capitini. She's the catcher hitting at .492. She is the leading hitter on this team. But
it's hard to take the bat of a kid like this hands, too.
Change up for a strike.
Now, Bitterman will feature a changeup. She's not overpoweringly quick, but with her changeup, that fastball and curveball look much quicker.
She has runners at first and second. And delivers to the plate, and this one is hitting the air towards right center field.
That's going to
and going to fall in. Base hit, and they are going to try and score the runner, and that's going to be successful as runners now go to second and third as Scharf scores the first run of the ball game.
Well, it's a good piece of hit. She kept her hands in, let the ball travel, and hit the ball at the outside pitch in the right field gap.
Well, yesterday, Grandview Prep scored 18 runs in the first inning, and look at this, Coach, 3 batters, 3 base runners. I think they want to do that again.
Tell you what, as a coach, I'd love to see that. Sure would make me feel a lot better.
Jane Sallin
Grandview's using the speed up rule that we have in fast pitch softball, where you can courtesy run for the catcher or the pitcher, so the catcher can get in and get her gear on, and it takes a little bit less time to get out and change positions.
So Danielle Caudill is going to run at second. Capitini driving in a run as Salin comes to the plate, hitting at .471, 1 home run, 19 driven in. Just underway and already Haley Bitterman is in trouble for Pinecastle. Delivers to the plate. That'll be a strike call. He likes an umpire who bellers it out.
Yeah. Pinecastle is playing in all around to try to cut this run down. Carasona will start creeping in when she gets the signal.
Runners at second and third. Working very slowly as Bitterman. Delivery is going to be grounded foul past first. Oh, we didn't mention Mark is the head coach of Winter Springs, who is in the fairly general vicinity of Pinecastle. You have played them in the past. In fact, a couple years ago when they won the state tournament, you had to play them that year, didn't you?
Yeah, we played them, and Bitterman just gave us fits with her changeup. We ended up winning 6-4, but it was a lot of hard work.
0-2 the count. Delivery is a changeup that is hit foul and past the dugout that time. The batter Salin waited on it, but couldn't do anything with it in fair territory.
And we call that spoiling a good pitch.
Salin still behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Infield single by Hunter Scharf, error on the first baseman. RBI single to right center field by Capitini, and it's a 1-0 ball game. And the pitch again, the change up, and he slaps it into right field for a base hit. That'll score 1 run, and that's all they're going to try. So Samaniago scores. Now there's runners at the corners. Still nobody out. And here's Jesse Harms.
That was a good piece of hitting by Salin. Sat back in the changeup and just brought her hands through.
And with the 2-0 lead, here comes Jesse Harms. Harms hitting at .428. No home runs, 16 driven in. You might be able to hear the wind whipping through the microphones because it's blowing straight out towards left and left center.
It's much more pleasant than yesterday.
Oh, yes. There's a strike called. Yesterday, not only did they have to have a weather
it's going to be a
delay.
real nice night, so everybody that's sitting home should come on out and enjoy the NTC complex. It's beautiful out here.
Oh, yeah, and we're going through Monday. If you're looking to take a day off from work, come on out. Harms down in the count, 0-1 squares, bunts it, and it's a dead ball. It hit her in the batter's box, or is she out of the batter's box?
Ball hit the batter coming out of the box, and big break for Pinecastle right there.
And so are they calling her? Did he hit her when she was out of the box? No,
he called her out initially.
Well, now they're discussing it, and she's still there with the bat in her hand. It's a very fine line there, and they're going to call her out.
Okay.
So the first out of the first inning. And here comes Mackenzie Hart.
That's certainly a break right there.
Well, if they weren't able to score the run, they'd at least have the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Hart is hitting .258. No home runs, 16 driven in on the year. As Bitterman tries to work out of trouble here in the top of the first. And that is hit in the air. Foul territory. The catcher is going to make the play on it. As Gear Hard retires Hart, and here comes Taylor Russo. Taylor didn't play during the regular season. Up there right now, having driven in a run yesterday for her first RBI of the year. Left fielder trying to get that third run home from third base.
That was a big pitch right there, so now if she can minimize the damage to 2 runs, that's got to be a small victory.
Here's the delivery. That'll be a ball. Yeah, considering the first 4 batters got on base, 1 on the air and 3 on base hits. Now she can get out of the inning and get her team's offense rolling. Both teams, good hitting teams.
Yep, both teams. This could be a high-scoring game.
There's the ball, high and tight. It's 2-0.
think both of them have scored over 50 runs in the regionals, and thought he might use a lot of ink on that score pad today.
Yeah. Of course, we all know about Grandview Prep yesterday winning their game, scoring 19 runs, 18 of them in the first inning. And that one is going to be a strike, hits the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Lots of people using umbrellas to serve a second purpose today, trying to keep the sun off of them. Nice Central Florida hot day.
Yeah, humidity's very low with this nice wind.
It's a 2-1 hit towards center field. Center fielder Caniglio comes in a couple of steps and makes the catch. So all of a sudden, Kaylee Bitterman settled down, retired the last 3 batters she faced in the first inning. But Grandview Prep was able to come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left on base. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, let's take a look at the batting order for Pine Castle. Leading off will be the shortstop, Emily Carasoni. Batting second and playing third base is Becca Carr. Kaylee Bitterman's the pitcher. She'll hit third. Lissa Richard is playing at second base and batting in the number 4 spot. Hitting fifth for the Eagles, the catcher, Casey Gearhart. Batting sixth and playing center field is Shelby Caniglio. Alex Thomas is going to hit 7th. She's the right fielder. The designated player is batting 8th, Ashley Gearhart. Batting 9th and playing left field is Anna Heffelbauer. The non-hitting first baseman is Audrey Smith. Defensively, for Grandview Prep in the outfield left to right, Taylor Russo, Marissa Samaniago, and Summer Burgess. The infield third to first, Jesse Harms, Caitlin Conrad, Lexi Beer, and Hunter Scharf. The catcher is Gina Capitini, and Jane Sallin is the pitcher. Now Sallin actually was the more effective pitcher on the season for Grandview Prep, as she was 10-3 with a 1.51 earned run average. Only 9 walks in 83 innings. She struck out 89 during the course of the year. She was not the starter yesterday. They decided to go with Hunter Scharf in that ball game yesterday. She actually gave up a couple of runs in the first inning in their semifinal victory. Do you know anything about her at all, Coach, or is she new to you?
No, except for the fact she has very good control, and not putting extra runners on base is very important. You like the strikeout to walk ratio, and you like the fact that she keeps, she lets her defense do the work they have to do.
Here comes Emily Carasoni, the shortstop, and she's a .686 hitter, 6 home runs, 21 driven in. Now I know she's very impressive to you.
Well, the kid can play at any level. She's going to Auburn next year to wear that orange and blue. And she's just an exciting player. You know something good's going to happen sometime during the game for her. Yesterday she popped up to center field the first 2 at-bats, and then hit an in-the-park home run and a triple in her next 2 at-bats.
Wow. She steps in there as a left-handed batter to face Jane Sallin. A left-hander, and delivers high and wide. All right, Coach, left-hander, right-handed pitcher. What's you don't see that many left-handers, so sometimes they can be a little more difficult.
Right, they're effective because they have that ball coming up into the right-handed batter, and we're not used to seeing it as much. Baseball a little bit more, and so that you do like the lefty-righty matchups in baseball.
That one's popped up.
No.
And the wind's going to carry it away, but Scharf had to stay with it. She made the catch. Yeah, it's more of a factor in baseball, isn't it, than softball. Here comes Becca Carr hitting at .345, 1 homer, 25 driven in.
And so she has a little curveball now. She'll try and keep it in on the hands of the Pine Castle batters. Yesterday, the Monroe pitcher was successful early, keeping it up and in, and getting a lot of missed hits down the third base line.
Here's a changeup high, ball 1. What's the mindset on changeup? You don't want to show it too much, but you want to show it when they're not expecting it.
You want to let the batter know that you have one. And usually, we try and teach our kids not to swing it at changeup unless it's 2 strikes, unless they know it's coming. Some pitchers will slow their body motion up and you know it's coming. But this Sallin doesn't look like she's changed her motion at all between her quicker pitches and her changeup.
1 ball, 1 strike as Carr gets ready for the next delivery, and that is grounded towards second. Beer has it over to first base in time to retire Carr.
She kept her inside again, and Carr wasn't able to get her hands through and get any barrel on that ball.
Here's Kaylee Bitterman. She's the pitcher, hitting at .400, 2 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Another right-handed batter with 2 gone. Well, Grandview Prep was able to get their first 4 batters on base, while Pinecastle hasn't gotten anything going here in their half of the first.
Not much of an answer yet, but as a coach, you make sure you just let your kids know we have 19 more outs. We have a lot of time.
Pinecastle, of course, the more seasoned of the 2 teams as far as state tournament appearances. Former state champions, and well, actually 3 times.
Yeah, I think Emily has been playing since she was a 6th grader. So she's been in the program. They have a couple athletes who have been in the program for a long, long time.
She's up there with a 2-ball, no strike count. Left-hander Jane Sallin trying to get him in order in this first inning. That one misses high, and it's 3-0. In softball, is 3-0 and automatic? I mean, you're going to take a pitch or not?
It depends on the batter. I have a couple of kids that hit the ball very, very far. And if I'm thinking this pitch is going to try to come back in, I'll let them go on what the pitch they like. And it depends on the situation of the game, too.
Now she has taken all the way there, and it's 3-1. 3 balls and a strike on Kaylee Bitterman with Lissa Richard waiting on deck. Both of these teams got here fairly early to use one of the other fields to warm up, get ready for this championship game.
We can see the excitement on both squads. They're both really excited to be here, and so coming early and just getting loose and getting that good sweat going.
Well, Sala went 3-0, now it's 3-2. Bitterman, the opposing pitcher, awaits the full count delivery. Jane Sallin rocks and fires, and it's grounded towards second again. Beer has this one, and it's a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first inning. As Pinecastle's unable to get anything generated offensively, no runs on no hits, there were no errors, and no runners left on base. We will go to the top of the second inning. It'll be numbers 8, 9, and 1. Conrad, Burgess, and Scharf to face the pitcher Kaylee Bitterman. Well, Coach, Bitterman had a rough start. She's had a chance to relax now. You expect her to kind of breeze a little bit now?
Well, I think that Bitterman needs to, she settled down and got the 3 outs with a runner at third. And so if she can get out of this inning with no damage, that they have to feel pretty good and they get back in and take some swings. But Grandview's hitting the ball very hard.
Here's the warm-up pitches. Winter Springs, what kind of a season do you have this year?
We finished up 26-3. We lost in the regional semifinals to our district team that gave us fits all year, Lake Howell High School. Matched up very well against us, and the girls, since they're 3 miles apart, have played each other forever. So they knew each other. The things that would have been effective against other teams weren't quite as effective. So it was we lost 1-0 in 11 innings.
Wow. Of course, Lake Howell's right down the road.
Right down the road.
They are your bitter enemies, eh? Girls living.
They have good kids, like we have good kids, and I was not happy that we lost, but I was very proud of the way they played and wished them the best as they went up to face a very good Childs team. They ended up losing that game, but you have to credit them with the season they had. They had an excellent season, and their second baseman, Aisha Kerr, may be the best. This year had the best season of anybody in Central Florida.
Wow. Caitlin Conrad is going to be the first batter, hitting at .431, no home runs, 13 runs driven in. Grandview Prep got a taste of state tournament play yesterday with that long first inning, made longer by a 1 hour and 5-minute rain delay. Conrad, and the first pitch to her misses outside. Then they had to switch fields. I mean, those 2 teams had everything going against them yesterday.
I thought that game might never end. It was hadn't been for the 15-run rule.
Here comes Conrad. And that one is going to be an inside corner strike, and it's 1-1. Pretty good attendance today here at the National Training Center as the two teams battle for the 2A title.
Pinecastle has a very good tradition.
She'll miss the pitch low, 2-1.
Travels well, brings a lot of people.
Yeah, and of course Pinecastle's not too far from here, obviously, just off of downtown Orlando, so they didn't have too far to come. There's one foul down the third base side, and the count goes to 2-2. Geldeneff along with Mark Human from Winter Springs.
I think she might go. She's been going in and out every other pitch, and she hasn't thrown a changeup yet. So we'll see what call she gets here.
2-2 delivery.
There it
There's
is.
The changeup swung right through it. Well, apparently she knew exactly where to put the changeup that time.
That pitch is just evil. I remember almost breaking my back swinging those things.
Summer Burgess steps in. Burgess hitting .434. No home runs and 4 runs driven in. Number 9 batter. Where's number 99? She'll take a strike at the letters.
And we're seeing a lot of big numbers this year. A lot of 99s and 88s and 80s and some defensive linemen playing.
Yeah. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. And that's the changeup that misses high. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. You let your girls, the new ones, choose their own numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get uniforms every year, we really can't. Most of the time, most squads can't afford that, so they'll just adopt a number that's there and the size it fits.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Burgess still behind in the count, looking to get something going on the top of the second. That one is hit on the fist, straight back, and the count remains 1-2.
Neither team has shown that they can get their hands through the ball and meet it out front.
1 ball, 2 strikes as the home plate umpire signals it to pitcher Kaylee Bitterman. Took something off that and missed, and it's 2-2. You know, the screen, it doesn't look like there's a lot of people, but the 2 sections that you're not seeing have quite a few people.
Yeah.
Most of them sitting way at the top, getting a little better view. This one fouled back again. Breeze has moved now. The wind is blowing in.
Sure is. It's switched from left back to right.
So that'll keep right-handed batters from lofting them down the left field line. There's one grounded, 1 hop, short hop to the shortstop. Carasoni makes the play. Then Burgess is gone in the second inning.
That was a good at bat for Burgess. Anyway, she swung. She had the 7-pitch at bat from the 9th hole, so
Here
making
comes
Bitterman work a little bit.
Hunter Scharf. Scharf steps in as the leadoff batter. Yesterday, Scharf was 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. She had a double and a triple in their semifinal win over Sheridan Hills.
And she's up in the box now, so she's taking full swings. Last time she slapped and she started off a little bit back, and so in the high school level you can usually tell when what the kid's thinking by where they're positioned in the box.
Further up, you're not going to slap because you're going to be out of the box.
And you can bunt from that position, and she's got the speed to do that. But if she's hitting triples and doubles, she's got some power too.
Looks down to the coach at third base. That's Coach Neil Catapano. Wide open stance. Here's the delivery, and that one's hitting the air towards left field. Shortstop's going out and making the catch. So after 4 consecutive batters came to the or got on base in the first inning, it's been 6 in a row retired by Kaylee Bitterman. Since then, no runs on no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom half of inning number 2, it'll be numbers 4, 5, and 6. That's Richard, Gearhart, and Caniglio to face Jane Salad. Well, I guess that Bitterman's kind of settled down a little bit now, huh?
Looks like she was throwing some good pitches there, and she's facing the bottom of the order, but they seem to be pretty potent too.
It's a good format they have here, where you play the semifinals one day and the finals the next. That way you don't have to get the kids here for an entire week.
Right.
And tomorrow,
but it's enough that the kids can be away to kind of have a reward for for getting this far. You know, they can spend a day out of school and just feel like they're part of something special.
Well, that would be special just on its own, unless things have changed since I was in school. Just getting out would be a thrill. So these young ladies trying to bring home a championship, which has never happened for Grandview Prep. You know, they've only had a softball program for 4 years, and this is the 3rd time they've been in the finals. I guess they came out of the chutes running, huh?
They sure did. They look very prepared.
Here comes number 4 in the lineup. Eagles second baseman Lissa Richard, 453 on the season, no home runs, 24 driven in. Coach's daughter, so you know she's been around the game forever. Mark in his 12th year at Pine Castle.
I know my little ones come to the field all the time, so
we can look forward to some future stars at Winter Springs.
Throwing and hitting.
Okay.
They're mostly into drama and karate, but
okay. There's a strike called. Pine Castle actually comes with their own little bat girl. I'd like to see her if they get somebody on base here. She'll come out and get the bat. There's the delivery. That's not going to hit it that way.
That was a good changeup. Mark and them are really big about community over at Pine Castle, and they do community service projects every year, and this year they were providing support for Victoria Coffey, Kissimmee Osceola's coach, softball coach's wife,
oh, wow.
who suffered from cancer.
Ground ball to third, and Richard is retired. And here comes Casey Gearhart, 388. No home runs, 20 runs batted in. You know, I'd like to see that stuff because, you know, most people think that it's all athletics and all academics. There's other things. There's things you can do community-wide, which obviously they do.
And look, we try that. A lot of my girls work with younger kids, the 10 and unders in the area, with softball, and they're in different honor societies at school that do service projects. It's very important. More important to be out there.
Right-handed batter, Casey Gearhart. Catcher steps back in. Jane Salad, who has retired the first 4 batters she's faced. And misses high on that one. Two balls, no strikes. You can hear the cheering going on from the dugout. No cheerleaders in softball, so the girls take care of that themselves.
And it gets loud sometimes.
Yeah, it's very loud. There's the pitch down low.
That's why we have our home dugout in the first base dugout, so I can go to third base and it's not quite as loud.
You had that all planned.
Oh.
I know I do the PA at Trinity Prep, and those girls just they're never quiet. Pitcher Jane Salad. And the delivery is going to be a strike call. Taking it all the way. 3-1 the count. Shelby Caniglio waits on deck. Kelly Neffler with Mark Human.
She fell behind 3-0 last thing and got
this is pop foul and not too far away from us.
I almost jumped on the table last night and they told me that we had a fence over our heads.
Yep, you don't have to worry this year. Other years you didn't have that, or last year. This year we do have a little protection over us. 2-2 the count, or 3-2 the count. Gearhart awaits the payoff pitch. And that is that changeup again. Boy, that fooled him.
It's a lot of confidence that pitch to throw a 3-2 changeup.
That's a good place to throw it. Strikeout number 1. Here's Shelby Caniglio, left-handed batter. 369 on the season, no home runs, 23 driven in.
If these love bugs end up taking me away, please.
I know, there's enough of them to carry you away.
Tell my wife I love her.
Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. Fastball upstairs. Thank you, University of Florida, for providing all of these for us. Coaches say they're not so bad on the field. Maybe that's because they're always moving around. We're just sitting here. We're nice targets for them. There's one high. 1-1 the count. 2-0. Grandview Prep with the lead. The Pride going to bat in the first inning. Great guns. First 4 batters got on base, 2 runs scored.
3 solid base hits.
And 1 error on the first baseman, and all the damage done. That one slapped right in front of the plate, and she's going to beat it out. Caniglio with a bunt single, or a slap single, becomes the Eagles' first base runner. And Alex Thomas will step in.
Unlike baseball, middle defense is so important. In fast pitch softball, actually the corner defense is a little bit more important because of the short game like that.
There's so much speed. These young ladies have a good chunk of them. Just lay it down like that, and you're going to beat it out.
If you make that ball bounce twice.
There's a strike call. It's almost guaranteed that you're not going to be thrown out then.
I have a little freshman that bunts with beautiful backspin, so it'll be 2 feet off the ground and hit and just die.
Oh my.
And so she's so fast that if that happens, if she gets that good part of the ball, it's unstoppable.
Here's the 0-1. That's a strike also, 0-2. A little sandier in front of home plate at your place? It's a little sandier? You put the...
Yeah, it's pretty hard. We have a pretty good defense, so our field's harder than most, and we have water issues occasionally. But you get that good backspin, and
pitch misses high. It's 1-2. What's the field? I've never been on the field here.
Oh, these fields are really nice. They're hard at times, but the ground crew keeps them very level, very playable. You get an occasional bad hop, you get that anywhere. But they do a real nice job out here.
There's one hit in the air, but it's going to be out of play and back on the screen. I noticed during the rain yesterday, things puddle up on this field a little more than they do on the others because it's so low. That's
and
why
I
they
think
had to
this
move
field probably sees more action with all the championship games, all the games being played here, so it'll have a few low spots.
Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alex Thomas. Pinecastle trying a 2-out rally here. And they're not going to get it. Ball's knocked down by Salin. She bounces it to first, and they ring her up.
Nice
sure if that one slipped from her hand or what.
Yeah, nice focus by the first baseman.
No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. So we've completed 2 innings. To the top of the 3rd we go. It'll be the heart of the order for Grandview Prep, numbers 2, 3, and 4. Samaniago, Capitini, and Salad. A 2-0 lead for Grandview Prep. We talked about how they've just started their program 4 years ago, and already this is the 3rd time they've been in the championship game. How do you luck out into getting this program started that's that good to start with?
That's well, the first year before I got to Winter Springs, the first year they reached the regional semis because they drew from a couple of the schools in the area that had good programs when they opened the high school. So it's possible. Been very successful in the 14 years there. But what fun to be in the finals in your 3 out of your first 4 years.
Yes, they were actually the last 2 years they were the 2010 Class 1A runner-up. They lost to Eaglesview 5-2. And then last year, the 1A runner-up lost in 8 innings to Canterbury 1-0.
Oh, Canterbury's a very good team, too.
8-inning ball game.
Jody Moore's a coach out there, and she does a real good job with that group.
Well, here comes Marissa Samaniago. Samaniago for Grandview Prep yesterday was 1 for 1 in that massacre they had. She got a single, drove in a run, scored 3 times. Once we get to the batting position of Caitlin Conrad, we have a little comment to make about her. She's the number 8 batter in the lineup. Well, the home plate umpire calls time. And looks out beyond right field. There's somebody running back there, but I wouldn't think that would affect the play, so not sure what that was about. We're ready to go for San Beniago. Safe on an error and scored one of those 2 runs in the first inning. First pitch. And that's strike 1 from Kaylee Bitterman. Kaylee Bitterman allowed first 4 batters to get on base, and she's retired 6 in a row since then.
2-0 is not out of reach, certainly with a team that's
ball foul
has
down
the hitters
third.
that Pinecastle has. That first inning could have been a lot worse at first and third, no outs.
Well, Salin has an ERA of 151, so you give her 2 runs, and theoretically you got to think she's sitting pretty good. 0-2 the count. San Beniago will bounce this one hop back to Bitterman. Over to Smith at first base, and there's 1 gone in the third.
It's a little ahead on that outside pitch. A weak ground ball back to the box.
Capitini yesterday 1 for 1 with a couple of runs batted in. Also drew a walk to go along with her single. She steps in with 1 gone and nobody on base. Here's the delivery. That one misses high. One ball, no strikes on the number 3 batter in the lineup.
The wind's still coming from left. You might want to challenge her a little bit more inside.
Pick something off that one. Well, both these
tried to hit
pitchers.
that long way.
Yeah, those pitchers have good changeups, don't they?
They sure do.
Pitcher can have a good changeup, Coach, and it's just where you show it.
Where you show it and where you locate it and what you have to come with it.
That one misses inside. And it's 2-1. First of 2 championships. What they do is they play the semifinals one day and then the championships the next day. Then they move on to 2 other classes. Already.
And in softball, you can return your number 1 pitcher the next day most of the time because the throwing motion is quite different from baseball. You're using gravity, and there's not the same torque on the shoulder.
Do you ever count pitches?
Yes.
You do. Here's
During the regular season, my
third baseman Becca Carr makes the play. 2 gone in the third.
my starting pitcher was All-State her sophomore and junior year, and tried to keep her innings down some this year. So I'd let her pitch 110, 115 pitches, and then
She have a kind of a tender arm.
well, she throws a lot of screwballs and rise balls, so she would get occasional tenderness in her elbow, and I just didn't want her to have to. I wanted her to be effective, and in fact, in the regional finals, she pitched 4 hits over 11 innings with 11 strikeouts.
Okay.
So she was certainly kept us in the game and gave us a chance to win.
Salin, who didn't have an official at bat yesterday, slaps a single to right center field. That ends the streak of 9 consecutive batters retired. 8 consecutive batters retired. And here's Jessie Harms. Harms was 0 for 1 yesterday, but with a couple of runs scored. She also had a stolen base.
I think I scored once in that game yesterday.
Here comes the 1-0 delivery. Poor Sheridan Hills. It was kind of a batting practice ball, bounces foul. I mentioned we had something special to say about Caitlin Conrad. Actually, it's the person on deck that we have to talk about when she comes up, Mackenzie Hart. Runner at first base with 2 gone in the third. Grandview Prep leading at 2-0. And that one is going to be fouled down the third, or past third base, down into the corner.
One of the strategies here, since it's a 1-2 count.
I believe so.
Yeah, send the runner. If the runner gets thrown out, then you have the number 5 kid leading off again the next inning, and if not, she's in scoring position.
And with 2 outs, you
Yeah,
got to get her in there. There's one grounded weakly towards first. First baseman Audrey Smith tags the bag, and Jesse Harms is retired, and so's the Pride in the top half of the third inning. No runs on a hit. There were no errors and one runner left on base. As we head to the bottom of the third inning, for Pinecastle will be numbers 8, 9, and 1. Gearhard, Heffelbauer, and Carasoni to face Jane Sallin as both pitchers. Well, actually, Sallin never really was anything challenged in the first 2 innings, but she's going to go out there to see if she can shut him down here.
Gave up a harmless 2-out bunt single.
That was
I say harmless, but I've seen that just escalate.
Open up the floodgates.
Yeah.
So with an inning like Grandview Prep had yesterday, where Sheridan Hills just couldn't get anybody out. I mean, everything bad was happening. They had pass balls, there were a couple of errors, and there were things. Once the floodgates open, as a coach, all you can do is just sit there and wait for it to end. Those poor young ladies, I mean, they didn't expect that. I mean, here you are at state tournament, give up 18 runs in the first inning.
And I've been on both sides of that, and sometimes you can affect it when you're on offense. You can do some things that might be humane, but on defense, you just sit back and take it.
Bottom of the third inning, Ashley Gearhart, the designated player. We found out, now you're a coach, you might know this. I had asked the question about the difference between a designated hitter and a designated player. Actually, both can go in and play defense, but
right.
You don't lose your designation as a designated player when that happens.
The flex rule allows for a couple more kids to be involved. So if your flex player, let's say today she's at first base for Pinecastle, she can play first base, and Ashley could go in and play left field. They could both be in the lineup at the same time. They just can't both play offense at the same time.
Okay.
If you put the flex player into hit, she can only hit for the designated player, and then that counts as a substitution. So you can re-enter the designated player and go back to 10, but they can never hit in the lineup at the same time.
I'm not used to thinking that much. My head hurts. If that comes up, you let us know, okay? There's the ball slapped into right field. Well, talk about placing it exactly where it needs to be, and the ball gets by everybody, but the runner at first base, Gearhart, wasn't really paying attention. So she becomes the first base runner of the third inning. Here's Anna Heffelbauer hitting a .207 is all. No home runs and 6 runs driven in.
Grandview's tightening this up, almost daring her to bunt.
Now coach down at third base is going to make a change, or at least he's talking to the umpire about.
He's going to put a quicker player in, a straight substitution for the designated player. Try to get this run in.
Well, Gearhart. Well, we don't have any stolen bases totals on our stat sheet, so we don't know what kind of a base runner she might be. They're going to bring in Kayla Gayton. Kayla Gayton is going to run.
I think she came as a pinch runner yesterday too. Was stranded at second, but she was in the same situation.
So Gayton in to run for Gearhart. Meanwhile, the pitcher and catcher in infield hold a summit meeting as Heffelbauer waits everything to come back to her. A little strategy going on when you get that leadoff batter on, isn't there?
They say a lot in college. They make substitutions all the time for position players because they know they can bring them back in one time.
Here comes the first pitch to Heffelbauer.
Grandview is certainly playing the sacrifice.
And that one's going to be fouled away, and it's 0-1. Calvin F. along with Mark Human from Winter Springs High School. Team did not qualify for state this year, but he's here watching a bunch of games.
Well, this is a lot of fun. Food and softball, sunshine, and a nice bump, but she's got it wrong.
Well, she looked like she might have been going to second, but she turned dead sharp and made the play at first base with the second baseman covering. A successful sacrifice, and here comes Emily Carasoni. Well, that's what you want, your best hitter up there with the runner in scoring position.
That's why that play made every bit of sense in the world.
Carasoni yesterday 2 for 5, a triple and a home run. 3 runs scored, 2 runs driven in for Pinecastle in their shutout over Monroe. Well, is she going to bunt? I wouldn't think so, with the first baseman and third baseman are playing in.
Well, that opens up a few more lanes for her.
Popped up to first, her first time up. They've been a little over anxious.
And you can see that's also the difference in between baseball and softball is the third baseman normally plays in 10 to 15 to 20 feet inside the bag, where in baseball there's no way that's happening. Oh, that's
hit hard. Out of the reach of center fielder Samaniago. Here comes Gayton coming in to score. And a 3-base hit, the second one of the tournament for Emily Carasoni. And does she ever get to third base quickly? I can see where she could get an inside the park home run easily.
Yeah, she almost caught the runner from second. Went back to tag, and there's Emily.
2-1. Lead is cut in half, and Becca Carr steps up. Yesterday, Carr 1 for 5 with a single. Pinecastle had 11 hits to go with their 11 runs yesterday. And now Neil Catapano is going to go out and talk to his pitcher and his whole infield. Just trying to settle him down, right? We still got the lead. Are they just discussing what to do with the runner at third?
Just let them know a little bit of strategy, what we want to do. Before he came out, the infield was way in. He's trying to cut this run down from third, so we'll see. And trying to prevent a squeeze play.
Well, Carr is a right-handed batter. Grounded out to second her last time up, so the strategic meeting on the mound is over.
The same ground ball score the run right here if she can get that again. So it looks like Grandview's going to give up the run to the middle of the infield. Here she comes in a little bit now. Same ground ball to second base will score that run.
There's the first delivery from Salin.
There's a defensive change there.
And she will foul that one away. He had a sharp one grounded to third. What's she do with it then? Look the runner back.
She's going to turn and try to hold the runner, which will give Carr a chance to get to first. But I've never been that fast. If I was as fast as Carasoni, I might take off on the throw.
And that was an accidental foul. Now they bring all the infield in. Counts 0-2. Well, if you're going to be a surprising coach, you put the squeeze on 0-2. I don't think you'll do that.
We've done it. Yeah, we've done it before.
Everybody
Timber Creek 2 years ago doing that.
Defense kind of relaxes when it's 0-2, knowing they're not going to bunt. No pitch misses high. It's 1-2.
She threw that one high just in case she decided to square. It's a better chance of popping that ball up in the infield.
Pinecastle trying to tie up this ball game. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Two to one with that tying run at third base. And the pitch swung on and hopped right to third.
She's going to go.
Yep, she's going to come in after they get the out at first, and she is speedy enough to score. Well, she waited until the third baseman Harms looked away from her, and off she took. Carr gets an RBI, and this game is tied up at 2 apiece.
Must be nice to have speed.
That I can't attest to.
I can.
Here's Bitterman.
My truck doesn't even go that fast.
Bitterman was 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple of runs batted in to go with their single. Bitterman grounded the third her last time up. Takes the pitch low, ball 1. 2 in the first for Grandview Prep. 2 here in the bottom of the third for Pinecastle. As Jane Salin, with the bases cleared now, works on the batter. And a strike call. It's 1-1. Another state championship, Class 6A, will be decided yet this evening. Right now, it's the 2A title game. Pinecastle Christian and Grandview Prep. That one is swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-2.
Nice hard cut. Good pitch keeping it down.
Well, baseball, softball, probably the fairest game of all. I mean, you would love to have Carasone up there every inning, but that's not going to happen. Everybody else got to have their chances.
And it's a team game. Sometimes Carasone might not, might not come through, and her teammates come through for. They, as good as she is, they didn't win all those games just on her back.
Right.
Bitterman's pitched great this year, and it's like Grandview is. It's a total team effort. Sometimes that's hard to preach to the kids.
There's the 2-2 delivery. Changeup got her looking. So Bitterman, who knows what a changeup looks like, strikes out to end the inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and no runners left on base. As we head to the 4th inning, it'll be numbers 6, 7, and 8. Hart, Russo, and Conrad to face Bitterman. Coach, we have a brand new game here, huh? 2-2 tie. This has all of a sudden become a 4-inning game. So have you ever, not knowing the history as much as I maybe should, have you ever been in the finals as a coach?
Been what?
Have you ever been in the finals as a coach?
Right. We played, we lost over here 2 years ago in the semis to eventual champion Palm Beach Gardens in 10 innings, and then last year we lost to Palm Beach Gardens down there for the state finals, for state championship.
I wasn't here a year ago, so I did not get the chance to see that. Well, these two teams obviously have history on their side. I mean, we talked about Grandview Prep. Pinecastle won the 2006 1A state championship 12-2 over Sheridan Hills, then turned right around the next year and won the 1A state championship 4-0 over Southwest Florida Christian. Then they took a couple of years off, and 2 years ago beat in 2A, beat Lafayette 6-2 to win the state championship.
You'd think that a 4-inning game with Pinecastle as the home team would favor them with their experience, even though Grandview has been here. The difference is how hungry is Grandview. The coach from Dothan, Alabama, shared this with me earlier this year. He asked us, and we told her that we had finished second last year, and she looked at me and said, "That's just enough to make you mad."
And boy, you play that game over in your head how many times?
Yeah.
What could we have done differently?
I watched the replay, but not till I'll stop at the 4th inning.
Mackenzie Hart will step in. Mackenzie swings and misses. This poor young lady, yesterday, when they batted around 3 times in the first inning, made all 3 outs. She grounded out, flew out, and struck out. Now, how bad does that make a player feel?
That's a kangaroo court thing.
Man, there's the pitch down low.
But then that's why you have to emphasize how it's a team game, and if you're going to make all the outs, and if you're going to make 3 outs in one inning, then your team's done something huge.
I'll bet you she was razzed a little bit on the bus back to wherever they were staying for the night. 1-1 the count. Pitch is grounded foul at the plate. And those were the only 3 at-bats she had the whole game. They went 3 innings. But coincidentally, not to, dwell on the negative, as she swings and misses at that one for a strikeout. She did drive in the winning run in their regional finals. So.
Like I said, it's a team game.
Yes.
But you can feel the momentum changing just a little bit, like that flag out there. Changing just a little bit. There's more of a bounce to the Pinecastle defenders.
Taylor Russo scored 3 runs yesterday, 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Let's talk about momentum a little bit. Here's the first pitch, and that's a strike. I've never, I've coached little girls before, but never anything as, as far advanced as high school or anything beyond. But it seems to me that here's the 0-1 pitch, up high, 1-1. That the most important inning for a pitcher like Bitterman is right after your team is scored to tie the game or take the lead.
If you've worked so hard to catch back up or get ahead, then you don't want to immediately give the other team back a run.
There's one hop right back to Bitterman. Over to first base, 2 up, 2 down. So ever since those first 4 batters In the first inning, she's retired just about everybody. They had the single to right field by Sallin, but that was it. Here's Caitlin Conrad. Conrad in that big game yesterday was 1 out of 3 with a single. Just about everybody contributed in that one. Conrad struck out her first time up, the only other strikeout victim for Bitterman in this game. And she gets ahead of her 0-1. Of course, they say the best pitch a pitcher can have is strike one, right?
That's right. You got to get ahead. It opens up a lot of other things for you. In reality, you probably see one good pitch to hit. If you play, if you're up against a good pitcher like Bitterman or like Sallin, you're going to see one pitch that you can really handle and it bat. And so, if you get ahead as a pitcher, now all your other spins and drops they're all available.
Pitcher can really get into a batter's head, can't they?
Well, that changeup. I mean, it's affecting me, and I'm not even playing.
2-1 the count. It's the number 8 batter in the lineup, the shortstop Conrad.
Especially if you keep them guessing, in or out, in or out.
To deep short, throw to first, in time. There's Carasoni's arm right there. I guess she can do it on both sides, huh? No runs on no hits.
Every accolade that is given to her, she deserves.
You don't see too many runners being thrown out from that deep as shortstop. 1-2-3 inning. We go down to the bottom half of inning number 4. Numbers 4, 5, and 6. That's Richard, Gearhart, and Caniglio to face pitcher Jane Sallin. We're talking about mind games, but can you actually, and I don't know if you teach this or how you coach this, can you actually think too much as a batter?
As a batter, you can. I have a young lady that's one of the most tremendous talents around, and she plays first base like nothing you'd believe. She makes plays because she just plays. Mm-hmm. She saves us all year long. We rarely make throwing errors because she can do anything at first base. And she hit 13 home runs this year with 42, 43 RBI. But sometimes she gets to the plate and she just thinks instead of just reacting. And she still hit 400, 420. But
you'd think the better players would be just instinctive after a while. I mean, they've grown up learning how to play, and it just becomes natural to them.
But some of the players are more cerebral. We have kids that go to Ivy League schools and go to Notre Dame, and we've had sent kids that far, and you have to be thinking to go there, and so sometimes little things just grow.
And you can have batters who don't think at all.
You sure do, and swing at whatever this. Just give it and take 3 cuts.
Yeah. Here comes the number 4 batter in the lineup. That is Lissa Richard, the second baseman. Richard grounded to third her first time up. Yesterday in the semifinals, Richard was 2 for 4, had a single and a double. Top of that order has 7 base hits, the first 5 batters in Coach Richard's lineup. Swings from the bottom of the bat. Does anybody choke up anymore? I mean, slap hitters sometimes do, but everybody swings from the end, don't they?
Yeah. When I first started, home runs weren't as prevalent. And then the last 5 years, I think, as a team, we've hit almost 100.
Oh, my.
When my first 4 or 5 years, we might have hit 3.
Wow.
And so kids get back, and they don't get cheated up there.
So is that because you have a good weight program?
More than half my squad is on the school weightlifting team.
So they're stronger now.
Big and strong. Kids that aren't real big can hit the ball a long way and very hard.
It's probably been the biggest change over your tenure, huh?
Yeah.
There's that changeup that catches the outside corner.
That pitch was almost impossible to hit right there.
1-2 the count. Lissa Richard, the cleanup batter for her dad. Leading off the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch, and that one's hit in the air, but it is going to drift foul and out of play. Now the wind's actually coming in more from left and left center. This wind's just been playing tricks all day. Different directions every time you look up.
You can drive an outside pitch. You'll get some extra bases. That wind will take it away from the right fielder and help it carry a little bit.
I don't mind the wind coming straight in because it blows all the bugs away from us.
I'm okay with that too.
One ball, two strike, but you have to watch out for one hit in the air.
Yeah. I'm not real squeamish, but there's just things crawling all over me.
And they aren't very good looking either. I mean, some bugs are kind of cute. Not these.
Well, I saw a couple because they were sitting right on top of my glasses.
Oh my. Creepy things. 2-2 the count on Richard. Infielders really have to watch out for those little pop-ups. Ball high. We're going to check with the base umpire. No, she didn't. There's a misconception, and the home plate umpire doesn't have to ask for help if he got a good look at it.
What we always like is coaches, if they'll work together, even if they trot out to the field and get together and talk about dinner, at least if they give us the appearance of working together, we feel better about the whole situation.
As the father-daughter conference is over.
Mark has used his first and only offensive conference of the inning. If he does it again, if he speaks to another batter, unless the defense does it, then he has to make a substitution.
For that batter?
Well, for anybody. He can make a substitution for a field player, but he has to make a substitution.
Oh. That one will miss, and it's ball 4. That's the first walk given up by Salin. And here comes Casey Gearhart. Gearhart 1 for 3 yesterday with the double. So let's elaborate on that a little bit, because I've always wondered, because you see the umpire, whenever one of those happens, pulls out a little notebook and writes something in it. You can do one offensive
conference per inning, or else you have to make a substitution. If you do another one, you actually have to go sit in the dugout.
Oh my. The
I
coach
believe.
has to? You can't coach at third anymore?
I don't think you can.
Now what about defense? Because in the game yesterday I saw the defensive coach go on there.
On your third trip you have to change pitchers.
Now that's the third in an inning.
No, third
of the game. So they did 2 in the first inning, so then you have to change anytime after
Next time after that.
There's the pitch that misses high.
In the extra innings, you get 1 per inning.
1 additional.
Right. Well, just 1 per inning.
Oh, just 1.
Yeah, if you come out second time, you have to make a change.
Gearhart struck out her last time up. Even in the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-2 ball game, bottom of the 4th. That was grounded towards second and right through Beer's legs into shallow right field. That's going to allow the runner from first base, Richard, to advance all the way to third. Right through the wicket.
You have to wonder if she got shielded by the runner a little bit. And, she ran in front of her. So that's the big thing. If you put the ball, you got to put the ball on the ground and force them to make extra throws, extra fields.
Probably have a courtesy runner here. Gearhart, the catcher at first base, as Coach Richard, looking for the big inning that he wants with the first 2 runners on base. Will run for his catcher. And this will be Jamari Ridley. Jamari Ridley will be the runner at first base. Now, when you have a courtesy runner, can that courtesy runner, how many times can they run in the game?
Courtesy runner can run. The courtesy runner for the pitcher can run every time the pitcher's on. Courtesy runner for the catcher can run every time the catcher's on. But it has to be the same courtesy runner.
Okay. Now, what if
for the pitcher? This courtesy runner for the pitcher can never run for the catcher unless it's a straight sub.
So if this young lady would be not used the next time the catcher gets on, then she can't play the rest of the game?
Right.
Well,
or she has one more re-entry.
Oh, okay.
But you're not going to take the catcher out. So this is the only time that, I mean, if you sub for the catcher, if Casey's not going to come out this game.
Hard enough to find 1 catcher on a team, let alone 2, huh? Runners at the corners, nobody out. This could prove to be the big inning for the Eagles.
Maybe bunt just to get the,
almost bunted it past third.
Yeah, slapping.
Caniglio yesterday was 0 for 3 in Pine Castle's 11-0 win over Monroe. Monroe only had 3 hits. All right, the left-hander ready to step back in.
She's going to just try to make contact and put the ball on the ground. At least the worst they should come out of this is runners at second and third. Here it is again.
And she runs up on it, but it sails high. The old wheels are turning out there now, aren't they?
Yeah, boy. I tell you what, you have these little slappers, and they always cause, they're just such problems. You have to come up clean with it. If you don't, they're going to be safe.
Caniglio still behind in the count. Here's the pitch. He bunts that one right in front of the plate.
So now she's going to be bases loaded.
Yep, bases loaded. They don't even make a throw. Now that, my friends, is a perfect slap bunt. The bases are jam-packed for Alex Thomas. Well, if she can do what she did yesterday, they're going to break this tie. She had a single and a double in that victory. Well, now if you're Jane Sallin, you got to work for a strikeout. You don't want to put the ball in play at all, do you?
No. Well, if you can get a excuse me. If you can get a ground ball to third or short, or even back to you, you have a chance to turn two. But at least you'll get it to the plate.
There's one half swung. She went. And it's 0-1. Thomas grounded back to the pitcher last time up.
You can see the second baseman's trying to signal in to where the location of the pitch is. She'll bring her left arm up if it's outside and the right arm up if it's inside.
It's going to be
inside.
Put her right on. She didn't quite put it where she thought she was going to put it.
Yeah. That's a little different than baseball because we know if a pitcher knew that somebody at second was giving signals that the ball would be in their ear hole.
Yeah, I would think so. Like Cole Hambles, he's pretty good at that.
Yeah, and he'll let you know too.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Coming in.
Yep, that one is swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. So now 1-2, the strategy changes a little bit. Got to watch out for that changeup. Boy, Sallin would love to get like the next 2 batters out on strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and she got one of them.
That was a big, big out right there.
Now you have your number 9 batter, Ashley Gearhart.
Isn't Ashley a 8th grader?
She is a 7th grader, actually.
7th grader. So this is a big spot for a 12 or 13-year-old right here.
1 for 3 yesterday. Are they hitting for? No, she's still out there. Oh, apparently it's... Oh, this is a re-entry because Kayla Gayton had run for her. So they have to officially re-enter her. What's the penalty if a coach fails to do that? They have
Batters out.
Batters out. They don't just bring up the courtesy runner.
Or
the pinch runner.
If the defensive team has to appeal. Otherwise, if it's a mistake, they can change it, and there's no penalty.
Okay. Well, Gearhart singled to right fielder first time up. That started off that 2-run inning in the 3rd. A couple of runs could score if she could get a pretty well-placed ball here.
It's that same type of chopper.
Playing a mind game. Sallin's probably playing a mind game with herself right now, wondering how to dispose of this batter without anybody scoring. Sallin's first pitch, and it went down low.
She showed a lot last batter to get that runner out with strikeout with no outs and bases loaded.
Richard at 3rd.
One of these kids gets on, then they're gonna flip the order, and the top's gonna be up again, and that could be all kinds of trouble.
Oh yeah, Carasoni's just a couple of batters away. Their leading hitter. Swung on and missed. Big pitch. 1-1. Dangerous pitch is right up in her wheelhouse. Gearhart's only driven in 6 runs all year. Batting in the number 8 spot for Coach Richard. Runners at every base in a 2-2 game. That one.
Oh, well, that's a hit.
Did it hit her or the bat? Oh, she's holding her arm. And if it hit any part of the bat, though, is it a foul ball?
They say hit her hand.
What if it hits her hand and the bat?
If it hit her hand first, it's a dead ball. But I don't know what he called.
Well, their runners are staying where they are. Taking the batter to the dugout. Well, it must have hit the bat first.
That's a tough one right there.
Wow, that would have been a bases loaded hit by a pitch to break the tie.
He has to bring somebody in, and now Ashley is burned for the rest of the game since it's a re-entry.
Right, because she had already been taken out once.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be, well, the number 9 batter's ready to hit. She's up there at the plate, so what gives here? That can't be right, otherwise the run would be in.
That's right.
Well, we'll just see if we can muddle through this.
We could spend a few minutes swatting some love bugs. And
you know, it seems like every time you kill one, 3 more pop up. All right, now the umpires are going to discuss 2 things, or 2 of the umpires are going to discuss anyway.
Yep,
they're going to call it a hit batter. Run scores, everybody advances. That is one tough way to get a run batted in.
Now they could, if they want to keep her, they can put her on first and see if she can. Nope, they're going to bring somebody in.
Going to be Gayton again? I couldn't see who that was.
Number 16, I think.
All right, that would be Elizabeth Cawthorn. Elizabeth Cawthorn becomes the designated player now. Well, that's obviously a big break for Pinecastle.
There's a 1-2 count.
So Cawthorn becomes the runner at first. Gerhardt is done for the day. So your 7th grader is gone. You can't use her anymore. And everybody meets in the pitcher circle. Well, with 1 out, the bases are still loaded.
I think, did Heffelbauer hit a double yesterday too?
Let me see. Yes, she did.
Yeah, she hit one right at the base of the fence, so she's got some power also.
She only hits .207, so she makes a good use of her hits. That broke the tie. It's now 3-2 in favor of Pinecastle. You know, we're talking about Coach Catapano inheriting a good team when he took over at Grandview Prep. Coach Richard actually had losing seasons in 3 of his first 4 years. When he came there, he was 1-15 the first year. But since then, his record is 167 and 52. Pretty good percentage there.
That's a good day at the office.
Yes, it is.
You know, last year they were almost not a program anymore because the church that they were affiliated with was having financial difficulties, and they but they moved to a new location, and UCF leased them some land, and they built a softball field that's very similar to the championship field right here. And we got to play on it, one of the first teams to get to play against them on, and it was really a nice field. And Mark and those guys do a great job. I believe Kaylee Bitterman's father helped tremendously, along with a lot of other fathers, to get that ready for him.
Here's Salon's delivery. That one's bunted right into the catcher's glove, and now they got the runner in a rundown. And they got her at the plate. Pitcher covering. 2-5-1 on the putout. Meanwhile, the other runners advance, and there's 2 gone.
Pitcher got skinned up a little bit making that tag. Yeah, she got hit in the left leg. It looks like she got cleated a little bit.
I thought the tag was going to be a little too late. You know, just to elaborate on what you were talking about, Mark, about Pinecastle, as I went there last year. I had just moved into the area, and I was trying to find all the schools and where they were. And I watched a softball game there down just off of downtown Orlando, and it's a very nice facility. Not you talk about having no shade, though.
Yeah, it's right hot.
There. Yes,
but I tell you what, the bathrooms are beautiful.
I didn't stick around long enough to.
They're big, and they have air conditioning, and they're beautiful.
Well, the fields, you know, you talked about UCF. Leasing them the land, but you know, it's still right next to the school, near the school.
Right.
It's not right across the street or right on school property or anything. Now, it looks like Coach Catapano was out there too.
She got slid into at the plate on the tag.
Well, how long? I guess she's going to stay in there. The umpire only gives him so long before he has to make a decision. Right.
I guess he's going to let her pitch.
See how
she can plant.
They do
her drive. It's her drive leg. That looked fine.
Yeah, they do have Hunter Scharf at first base. They have to make a change. Well, they broke the tie on a bases loaded hit by a pitch.
The missed squeeze play gives them 2 outs, and if she can get this runner out, then they'll face the top of the order next inning with nobody on.
Last 2 innings have been the big ones for Pinecastle. 2 in the third, 1 here in the fourth. Become a bit of a cat and mouse game here. Heffelbauer, meanwhile, remains at the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Hits one into center field. It's going to fall in. 1 run comes in. The second runner is going to be tagged out at the plate. They do get the 1, but 2 runners this inning. Gunned down at home plate, but give Heffelbauer a base hit and another run for Pinecastle.
That's one of the most exciting plays in ball, I think, is that play at the plate from the outfield.
2 runs in the inning on 2 base hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. So Pinecastle has taken a 2-run lead at 4-2. That brings us to the top half of the 5th inning with 9, 1 and 2. Burgess, Scharf, and Sambanyago. Those outfielders assist, boy, they live for that, don't they?
Tell you what, they love to let that thing loose.
Poor home plate umpires had 2 close calls and 2 batters. Makes the decision.
But his credit, he was in the right position on both those calls.
And we're ready to go for the top half of inning number 5. So once again, you got a situation where Bitterman has been given the lead. Well, this time she's been given the lead. Last time she went out there, her team had just tied the game. Now she's been given the lead, so that makes her performance here in the 5th inning all that more important. She has numbers 9, 1, and 2 to face.
She'd certainly like to get the leadoff out. You'd like to get the number 9 hitter, minimize the damage from the others. You don't necessarily want to face Capitani with anybody on. You'd like for her to lead off the 6th.
Bitterman has retired 12 out of the last 13 batters to face her. Sal and her pitching counterpart, the only one to get on base during that stretch. At a 1-2-3 inning in the 2nd and in the 4th. Here comes Summer Burgess. Burgess in the semifinals, 1 out of 3 with a single. She steps in having grounded out to short her first time up. Bitterman now with the lead out there. Here's the delivery, and that is a pitch that sails high.
Starting off with a changeup.
Do a lot of pitchers have curveballs? I've seen a couple of them this year.
Almost every pitcher has 3 or 4 pitches that they work on. Hopefully they're relatively master 1 or 2. My number 1 pitcher has a rise ball, curve ball, changeup, and screwball that she can all throw for strikes. So she's pretty good. My number 2 kid has the same thing except with a drop ball. So there, is a bat you go up there and hope that you can understand what might come.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Misses inside, 3-1.
And you got pitchers like Kelsey Dunn, who was out of Spruce Creek and went to Alabama and is in the Women's Professional League that had, it seemed like she had 15 pitches, and she was good at every one of them.
Wow. Here's a 3-1. Strike called. Nobody throws a knuckleball, though, do they?
They throw a knuckle changeup.
Ah, okay.
Which is in the middle between their faster pitch and their slowest changeup. If they can do that, they have the fingers for it. The problem with that is some of the better hitters, some of the top of the order hitters can see the fingers.
Ah, yes.
And so they know the changeup is coming at that point. Now hitting it's another thing, but knowing what's coming is half the battle.
Let's see Bitterman. Let's see where she hides that ball. Puts it in the glove, and then of course she breaks the contact. There's one that's going to be ball 4. Well, that's what you didn't want, is walk the number 9 batter in the lineup.
Now here's where a coach starts using all the tums in the dugout. When the 9th batter fights off some good pitches and you walk the 9th hitter, especially his leadoff, and now the top of the order's up. And this kid's pretty good right here.
Junior Hunter Scharf.
one hit, and she'll drop it in there between short and left. Oh, there's a one-hand bunt.
Yep.
Nice play.
Yep. Just barely got
nice
it out
play.
first. Well, she did what she wanted. Got that runner down to second. She hit that with one hand, didn't she?
Yep. Sometimes you do that because it'll kill the ball just a little bit more. But the third baseman charged it, broke down on it, made an excellent throw to first. Any bobble, any miss, anything to left or right, and it's first and second, no outs.
Well, here comes Marissa Samaniago, the junior center fielder, 0 for 2, but she did score a run in that first inning. Well, they can get one run back with a base hit here, make it a 4-3 game.
Well, they have the hitters to do it coming up. This game's far from over.
All the 400 hitters in the neighborhood are coming up. 1 ball, no strikes on Samaniago.
Sometimes these numbers are deceptive because you're getting fat on maybe lesser conference foes. But some of the numbers are legitimate. Carasoni, you talked earlier, played a lot of 8A teams and 6A teams, and so that. And she got a bunch of hits against us.
Ball fouled at the plate. It's 1-2. And if you get lenient scorekeepers that make bobbles and into base hits, it's not like the FHSAA assigns an official scorekeeper to every game played around the state. You have to rely on your own hometown scorekeeper. There's a pitch just low. But I got a feeling when you get to the Carasonis of the world, the 686 is probably pretty legit. She, by the way, will lead off the next inning. One hop right back to the pitcher.
Did you notice a mistake, though, that she made? She fielded the ball, threw it to first, but she didn't even look at the runner. And she had the runner hung out from first to third. She gets that runner, then they have a runner at first. So this kid would have to hit a, was it Salins up? No.
This would be Capitani.
Capitani was up and would have to hit a long way to score the run from first. Now she just has to, she get on an error, wild pitch, pass ball. Base hit.
Yep. A lot of people don't think about that. Keeping that runner at second base would have been big. Yeah, it swung on a miss. Not a good swing. Might have pulled her head on that one.
What are you guessing's coming next?
Think she's going to throw a change?
I think she'll throw a change up. That's just inside or outside. I think she's going to throw it inside to her.
Catcher actually puts the sign down, moves inside. Fastball sails high. Now, I don't see the catcher looking over to the dugout, so is she calling her own pitches?
She might be, and that's almost a lost art, is having catchers that call their own game. I was blessed that my last 2 catchers could call their own games, and I didn't disagree with them very often.
This time she did look over. That one misses low. See if maybe she has been and just been discreetly looking over. Runner at third base could be the third run of the ball game for Grandview Prep. Pitch is going to be swung on and fouled, and that evens the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. Grandview Prep had a 2-0 lead until the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Pinecastle tied it up, then they took the lead with 2 last inning. 2-2 to Capitini. Swung on and missed. There's that changeup. So they stranded runner at third base. How big is that? No runs on no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We'll go now to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1, 2, and 3. Carasoni, Carr, and Bitterman. Well, Mark, that was impressive. He walked the first batter and then nothing after that.
The tough ones. They're top of the order for a reason.
Yeah, those guys have 481, 424, and 492 averages, and you got all 3 of them. So now you figure that Bitterman did her job. Now Salin obviously is going to try and hold off any more Pinecastle rallies.
If they can get a run here, they'll be feeling really, really good.
You talked about Carasoni, who's, I don't know if that's probably her dad sitting right in front of us. We got a new, we have a pitching change. Sharp, she was at first base. Are they going to...
Oh.
Is Salin going to...
No, you're right.
She hasn't come out yet. And we were talking about Carasoni. We mentioned how she's played since the 6th grade and signed with Auburn. One thing maybe, I don't know if you mentioned this before, she has a fielding average of 998.
She doesn't make too many mistakes. I saw her, I think the last time I saw her make an error, and I've seen her play about 5 or 6 times because we were all at the Florida-Alabama shootout earlier this year, and both played at Kissimmee Classic, so I got to see her play 4 or 5 times. And I didn't see her make any errors this year. She made 2 against us, which I thought was the year before last. I thought was actually helped us get a couple runs. But she doesn't. She's solid in every way.
She's only made 1 error all this season.
Wow.
She made a good play earlier in the game on a. Let's see, the ball was hit by Conrad, it looked like, or was it Burgess in the 2nd inning? Anyway, she went deep in the hole. Really showed some good range and some good pop with that
good
glove.
arm.
Here comes Emily Carasoni, senior, which Pine Castle opponents are glad to hear, finally. Tripled, drove in a run. Last time up, popped up to first the first time up. RBI number 22 on the year. It's hard to get RBIs as a leadoff batter, but she's had 22 of them. 3rd best on the team. Bitterman leads the team with 34. Bottom of the 5th inning. 4-2.
Got to get some of those bottom of the order kids on to get some RBIs.
Mm-hmm. They've done that today. The 8-9 batters have been on base 3 out of 4 times. And she would have been up there with runners on base had it not been for the throw from Samaniago from center field to gun down the runner at the plate.
But I think Mark made there. I think you have to send that runner with 2 outs, making the outfielder move and making a good throw against her body, and which she did.
There's a strike call. Low strike.
Good curveball.
That was a curveball? That one was a curveball?
That was a curveball.
Wow. I can't tell from this distance. 2-1.
I have the perfect frame between the bars right here.
Good. That one misses. And it's 3 balls and a strike. So they're being very careful with Carasoni, but then again, you don't want to put the leadoff person on base. You're already down 4-2.
And she probably steals second, so it's almost like walking a double.
3 balls, 1 strike. Carasoni steps back, and she just looks like a hitter. And she will slap that one foul past third. Had the right idea. Her triple went to right center field. That time she tried to go to left field. They're just a blessing, aren't they? The batters, they can hit anywhere.
Anyway, just go where the ball's pitched.
You know, when I was growing up as a kid, you had hitters like, Roberto Clemente and then Wade Boggs later. You can't pitch them anywhere.
Tony Gwynn, Rod Carew, they could just do whatever they wanted to with the bat.
Rod Carew would adjust his stance based on what the count was. Most players have a stance and that's it. He would change it every time there was a pitch. There, she changed up, got her. She knew it too. Carasoni strikes out.
Well, these guys have some confidence throwing those kind of pitches on full count.
We were talking about her offensive prowess and her defensive prowess. That's only her 3rd strikeout of the year. She only struck out 3 times. They've played 30 games. There's one, grounded to short. Had a little trouble getting it out of her glove, but Conrad makes the play. Here goes Bitterman. Bitterman, a junior. 0 for 2 in this one. Okay, they get a 2-out rally going. They have had 3, well, they haven't really had 3 consecutive batters retired, but 3 outs in a row. As Salin delivers high, ball 1. Kelvin F along with Mark Human from Winter Springs. Taking the whole day off? You're taking the whole week off? Are you taking the whole week off?
We're out of school at 2:20.
Oh.
And so it's only a half hour,
okay.
45 minutes here. Yesterday was an hour and a half because I got lost 3 times.
There's the...
Lucky for those rain
they haven't
delays.
moved the town since you were here last.
Usually I'm just, last 2 years when he came to play, I was just a passenger, so I didn't pay that much attention.
I mean, they don't make you drive the bus?
Don't have to drive buses anymore.
Good. Bitterman waits the 2-0 delivery. That is high, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Bitterman's had some health problems.
She's had a tough luck a little bit. Hurt leg, hurt shoulder. She didn't get to do any of the fall ball. We get to play fall ball down here, and she didn't get to do any of it.
Her hand swelled up once, and that affected her pitching. And she has a biceps injury.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
But she's learned to combat, fight through it. I tell you what, I've coached girls for 29 seasons, and they some of the toughest athletes around.
3-2 now the count.
Young lady that played with a degenerated disc in her back, and since the doctor wouldn't hurt anymore for her to play, she played.
Oh, wow. Well, as long as you're not going to do any more damage, you got that drive and desire taken over. Ball 4. Yeah, it could have been a 1-2-3 inning. Instead, it is the second walk of the ball game for Jane Sallin. Here's Lissa Richard, a junior. She walked and scored her last time up. Broke the 2-2 tie at that point. So when you have daughters that play, do you constantly coach them at home?
I'm trying not to.
Well, it's hard though, isn't it?
It is hard, but one thing I've learned is sometimes I don't want to be like I see other people.
Yeah.
And so my daughters are good athletes like their mom, but they can sing. And the 2 older ones, the 9 and the 6-year-old, do tournament karate.
Wow.
So
that's hard to do. Karate is difficult.
But it's good for them. It's good discipline, good focus, and one plays the violin, and they do all kinds of stuff. And so if they want to play, that's great. There's a lot of good youth coaches in the area.
So the violin player, that's pretty serious there?
She was. She's not so much anymore. She's going to, she knows if she makes a commitment, she has to see it through. So after she has a performance in 2 weeks, and after that, she's giving it back. But she just got through a performance of Beauty and the Beast, where she was Chip.
Oh.
So that was fun to see.
Yeah,
and it's air conditioned.
2-1 the count. Richard trying to keep the inning alive here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Delivery is strike called, and it's now 3-2. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the number 4 batter in the lineup. Now the wind's just kind of more like a breeze now.
Looking for a changeup again here?
I would. Nope, they're going to throw a fastball, and they're going to foul it away. All the way over to the other diamond. Well, it looks like, looking at the sky, that we're not going to have our 4th consecutive day of rain.
It's beautiful here and not too hot.
Not too bad.
Telling you, folks, come out for the 6A finals tonight.
We have that one coming up at 7 o'clock, 7:05 actually. There's a strike call. The runner's going to go down, but it doesn't matter. That's the 3rd out anyway. So called out on strikes is Lissa Richard. And Pinecastle's not able to get anything going. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Well, we go to the 6th inning. Coach, in the lineup for Grandview Prep will be numbers 4, 5, and 6. That'll be Sallin, Harms, and Hart. It's about time for them to get something going, huh?
Yeah, they need to, if they can get something here going, they'll be in good shape. There's still 2 innings to go.
Let's talk about that 6A final that is coming up tonight. We'll get a Oh, do you want to talk about it now, or should we?
I can do it now.
Okay. We're going to have the Class 6A final. Now, you saw the games last night. Let's remind everybody what the scores were. Niceville won over O'Galley 8-4, and Pembroke Pines over Lakewood Ranch 4-0. So, what do you think?
Well, both those teams are very good. Niceville, O'Galley is one of the finest teams I've seen this year and actually the last couple of years. And Niceville just handed to him that one inning, scored 8, I believe, in the third. And O'Galley kept fighting back, but boy, I got to watch Niceville up at the Florida-Alabama Challenge. We actually won that tournament over them because they gave up a couple more runs. But they are fully loaded.
Wow. That's the 7 o'clock game. Well, Coach, we got the middle of the order here coming up. They only have 6 outs left to go. They've got to be doing something here pretty soon. Haley Bitterman out there in the pitching circle.
Bitterman's, her objective is to get 1, 2, 3, and we know that, but why is that important is because she'll face the bottom of the order in the top of the 7th and doesn't want to get a chance to get back to Grandview's top of the lineup.
Jane Sallin singled in a run in the first inning, singled again in the third. So if she can get by her, that's just a major accomplishment at this point. Sallin says, I gave up 4 runs out there pitching. Let's see if I can help our team get runs 3 and 4 at least here in the 6th. Sallin, a senior. Tall left-handed batter. That one's fouled away, 0-1.
Pitch selection is going to be very important for the Grandview hitters right now. I think she chased one a little bit down and in. Probably anxious to get on.
Just to get that rally going right away. Don't want to waste any time. Here's the pitch, and she takes that change up, hits it towards right field, and that one is going to fall foul. Right fielder Alex Thomas, first baseman Audrey Smith. You know, I went to Pinecastle, as I mentioned, to watch him. Audrey Smith played right field last year. Now she's at first base.
Mm-hmm.
Right field's a lonely position, isn't it?
Sometimes, but you know, it's really important. You have to have a good arm, and in fast pitch, you can actually throw runners at first base. If kid hits a hard line drive to you, ground ball or line drive, that you can throw them at first, and that's certainly disheartening as a runner. You don't see that in baseball very often, unless I think I saw it happen to Rusty Staub about 30 years ago.
Get thrown out from right field. That's embarrassing. Well, Sallin's on base again. Now this opens up some possibilities. Here's Jessie Harms, who's grounded out, well, actually once to the catcher, once to the first baseman. One at the catcher was just a ball that bounced up and hit her, and she was automatically out. She'll bunt this one towards first. Plays at first.
Throw it.
And the runner advances down to second base.
Some coaches teach the girl, the second baseman, when she made the out at first, to turn and throw to second, because a lot of times these runners will turn, not pay attention.
Take wide turns, huh? Probably get a nice little double play going. Well, it looks like we have a change for Grandview Prep. This is going to be Danielle Caudill. So both teams have changed their designated player. Caudill is hitting at .385. How's that, Coach? Get a almost 400 hitter coming off the bench. Runner at second base. Now that would only be the third run. And you're down to your last 4 or 5 outs. Bitterman ready to deliver. She bunts and bunts it behind the plate. You know, talking about home plate umpires like we were earlier, you know, not only do they have to call the balls and strikes, they have to notice exactly where a bunt like that hit, where the catcher got it. Did she get it in front of the plate? Did she get it to the side of the plate? There's a lot to think about.
The kid's out of the box, the kid's on top of the plate.
Ooh, strike call in the outside corner. You ever done much umpiring?
I umpired slow pitch a few years ago, and I didn't like it too much.
Fans tend to yell. They don't like you very much.
The players tend to yell.
Ah. 0-2 the count. That was swung on a miss. They look the runner back at second. There's 2 gone. 4 strikeouts now in the ballgame for Bitterman. And here comes Taylor Russo. Russo, a 8th grader who's 0 for 2 in this game. Well, last inning, Bitterman left a runner at third. Right now, she's looking to leave a runner at second.
This is one where you circle in the scorebook.
There's one hit right up the middle. Shortstop's got it. Throws to first, not in time. Nice little tumble there by Carasoni. Almost, she made a pretty close play out of that.
Yeah. She saved a run.
Yeah, that runner would have scored, wouldn't she? Here comes Caitlin Conrad. Conrad, a freshman. Conrad 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
What a treat to be a starting shortstop in the state finals.
Yeah.
As a freshman.
So how early did the girls in Winter Spring start to play?
Well, there's kids have been playing since they were 6.
Really?
Kids that play every day if they can.
Here's the pitch. Strike call. Now, Winter Springs is the type school you can't use 6th graders, right?
No, we can't. We're a 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade schools, so only those kids can play. There's a couple high schools that have their, not in our area, but have their junior highs and high schools together, so they can have the younger kids play. But
I live like right in between Trinity Prep and Geneva in that area, and they both have all the grades that they're.
Yeah, Masters schools is right in there between y'all too.
Yep.
And they have the younger kids playing if they're good enough. Why not?
Here comes the 0-2 delivery, grounded towards short, over to first base, high throw, and it gets over the first baseman's head. An error on Carasoni, and a run scores. Now there, you've just witnessed something rare.
I don't know. That was
that
like she should have caught that ball.
Okay. Think the first baseman should be the recipient?
Well, I'm just glad I'm not the official scorekeeper.
Well, I'll put it down for that now. I'm going to borrow your red pen here and mark up my score sheet. It's now a 4-3 ball game. And now Coach Mark Richard goes out to talk to his team. Don't let it bother you. Let's
get the out, go in and hit.
Yep, still in control of the game. Number 9 batter's up there, but this is a number 9 batter that's hitting .434. So it's not your typical number 9 batter.
Yeah. That's a treat when you can have that.
Burgess is an 8th grader. Grounded out in the 2nd inning. Walked and was stranded at 3rd last time up. Russo's at 3rd base. Conrad's at 1st. 2 outs, 1 run in. Well, you expect your state championship games to be pretty close. That isn't always the case, but it certainly is in this one. Last year we had a 10-3 game between Gulliver Prep and Satellite. But for the most, it's a 7-2 with Ogali and Harmony. But most of them are pretty nip and tuck.
And if they get out of hand, it's usually something late. Something happens, like you said, the floodgates open. We were 1-1 with Palm Beach Gardens into the 10th and made an error, and they scored 6.
Oh, wow.
With 2 outs. So
there's the strike. Well, the floodgates could easily open up here if Burgess were to get on base, and you're back to the top of the order. 1 run in, 2 outs, runners at 1st and 3rd. Tying run down there at 3rd base. Change up. Swung right through that one.
That is just an evil pitch.
It's really unfair when you throw it in that 8th grader.
But if she's waiting for it,
well, if you know it's coming, and I don't know how you would
have
know.
a little better chance at it.
1-2. There
it is again.
Yep, she got a piece of it, and the ball's fouled away. Is there a telltale sign that you can look for at a pitcher to know it's going to be a changeup?
Sometimes if they slow their body motion down, then it's you can tell what pitch it's going to be. A lot of pitchers do that. Others, like I said before, if they're throwing a knuckleball, you can see their fingers. But not really. The good pitchers can hide their motions. And
oh, catcher Gerhardt may have saved the tying run right there. One thing, if you're a runner at third base, coach, and a ball gets by the catcher, you got a hard surface that can bounce off and come right back to you.
Well, I don't know I can't remember how this backstop plays, but there are some fields where they'll come right back and you have no chance.
There's a strikeout to end the inning. 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 2 big runners left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Pinecastle is hoping it's the last chance that they'll get to bat. They'll be sending out numbers 5, 6, and 7. Gerhardt, Caniglio, and Thomas. Well, we've already crowned champions in Class 1A and in Class 5A. Class 1A champion was Lafayette, 12-9 over Jay. And the Class 5A state champion, American Heritage, with the win over Bellevue. I like the way they have this set up. You know, you're in the school year and you don't want teams taking that much time off to come down and spend an entire week to 8 days here. So they have 2 semifinals on Monday, and those same schools come around to play on Tuesday, and then they're done. They can go home, and 2 more classes come. They do that format. So we'll have 2 semifinals coming up tomorrow. Then those finals will be on Saturday. Then 2 more on Sunday, and their finals are on Monday. And then everybody goes home, and the 8-day tournament's over. You like that format, Coach?
I do. I enjoyed the time we were here. We're close enough by that we could actually go to school the next day, which is what I do as a teacher, so I can't complain about having to go to school.
Did you play the late game when you were here, championship game?
Both times. Oh. Played the 7 o'clock game one time that went to extras, but that was on Friday, so that was okay.
But there's something about keeping them at their normal routine, huh? Bottom of the 6th, Casey Gerhardt to lead off. Jane Sallin has 1 goal in mind. Shut him down, and let's get at least 1 in the 7th.
Well, they have the top of their order up, so
yes, they will.
They keep it close here. You can't ask for a better chance. The top of the order.
Gerhardt, a freshman. She is 0 for 2, safe on an error, and struck out. There's one that's going to be down low. Well, if they can get some people on base, they can get to the top of their order. Coming from behind, Pinecastle was down 2-0. Tied it up in the 3rd, took the lead in the 4th. Jane Sallin on the pitching rubber will miss high. Strike zone's changed a little bit. He was calling those high strikes earlier.
Yeah, he's well. It's hard. It's hard to complain about umps. They're pretty consistent. They do the best they can. And that's part of the fun of the game is the human error involved on whether you're a hitter, fielder, or.
There's one grounded towards second. Beer has it over to first base. My dad and brother have been umpires for longer than they ever want to admit. And they seem to have survived all the years.
Yeah.
You have to be pretty thick-skinned to do it.
You have to not have rabbit ears, I'll tell you that right now. That's anything. It's a coach, too. So.
Caniglio will step in. Caniglio, a sophomore, left-handed batter, center fielder. She will choke up and let it go. Ball 1. A lot of umpires sitting in the stands.
Yeah.
And they don't mind telling the real umpires what they think of them either.
They will let them know.
Yes, they will. 1-0 to Caniglio.
So we don't have to do it as coaches.
There's one fouled away. I don't even know the guy's name, but I went to some basketball games this past winter, and I saw this guy at Trinity Prep, and very next Saturday I saw him at Bishop Board and saw him again at Winter Springs 3 times in 1 week, and got to talking with him. I told him my dad brother have been referees and umpires. I said, well, what about you? And I said, well, I do it from a long ways away, sitting at a table with a microphone on. That is how I do my refereeing. There's one fouled away. And the count goes to 1-2. You know, when you have a slap hitter, and here's something I've always wondered. If you bunt the third strike foul, you're out.
If you bunt, but a lot of the umpires will, if you go through like she just did, wouldn't call that a bunt. And I've never understood that either. As long as you're moving your hands through, they don't consider it a bunt. But another thing's confused me how you can make contact and not be out of the box.
Yeah, she offered it that one. And Caniglio down on strikes. 6 strikeouts for Salem. And here comes Alex Thomas. She was a strikeout victim in the 4th. 0 for 2 in the afternoon. Whoops, it's after 6 o'clock. 0 for 2 in the evening.
Oh, it's after 6 already?
Yes, it is. You guys don't get much of a chance between games here.
No.
There's a pitch down low. I came from Iowa, and their state tournaments played in the summer.
Yeah.
It's the only state that does that.
Minnesota, I think, is...
Oh, do they do it too?
Yeah, that's where I'll be. I'm married to Minnesotan, and so I'll be up there all June to visit the in-laws and the kids. And we get to see some softball up there.
That's right. Well, we're going back to July, or in Iowa in July, and it's the week of their state tournament. So
I think Alabama has, their kids play about 60, 65, 66 games. And so
Iowa plays about 40 or 50. 1-1 the count. Thomas. There's that changeup. Even fooled the catcher. Popped right out of her glove. 2 balls and a strike. Of course, Iowa started that years ago, and I'm sure some of the northern states did too, because the spring weather was just so terrible.
Yeah.
You couldn't get in more than 6 or 7 games. Most of the time it was snowing. What's the limit here? You can play 25?
25 regular season. You can play 2 preseason, 25 regular season, then at 7 or 8 going into the finals. Depends on how big your district is.
Here's the delivery. Swung on and missed, and down on strikes goes Alex Thomas. So Salem struck out 2 of the 3 batters, and now we come down to crunch time as we go now to the top half of the 7th inning. But it'll be 1, 2, and 3 with Scharf, Samaniago, and Capitini. The Pinecastle fans really cheering on their team. They want that 4th state championship. All in the last 7 years. We'll have
quite the achievement if they get it.
You know, the time I was there last year to watch when they were playing, team from, I think it was like spring break, and teams from like Alabama came down and stuff like that. That happens every year, doesn't it? You guys go? You went to Alabama this year,
Well, we
right?
went to Panama City, played in the Florida-Alabama Challenge, hosted by Arnold High School. And that was a lot of fun. We got invited to a tournament in Tennessee and invited out to the Torrance, California tournament. And our principal said, pick one and go. Of course,
Sure.
We picked the closest one that didn't cost them as most, but it was a lot of fun. The kids were wonderful, and for me, I'm as proud of when the umpires they're walking off the field said, Coach, that's one of the most polite groups of kids we've ever been around.
Really? Wow.
So even the fact that they were 26-3 and nationally ranked for most of the year, that was still one of my proudest moments with them.
Like their attitude, huh? Well, what you going to do here, Coach? You got the top of the lineup. Just let him swing.
Can this kid get on? If you have to lean into a pitch, get on.
Take one for the team.
It's not going to hurt that long.
Saw a game at Trinity Prep where they put in a pinch hitter and they said, take one for the team, and she actually got hit by a pitch with the bases loaded and ended the game. Won the game with the bases loaded. There's a strike. Sharp singled, infield single in the 1st. Laid down a pretty good sacrifice bunt in the 5th when they thought they were going to be able to get a run in there, but all they could do was get the runner to third base.
Somebody say stay diet of change-ups at this point.
Whoa.
There it is. Way on the front foot.
You know, very seldom do you see 2 in a row. It's change-ups. Now that would probably be with the count here at 0-2, it might be a good time for 2 in a row.
I might want it outside, unhittable, and see if she'll fish at it, or maybe even up. That's
goes to the
inside.
fastball. Fouls it away. Down to your last 3 outs. Sandlin struck out 5. She's given up a bunch of hits. 6 of them in the game. Walked just 1 batter. And a couple of errors behind her, both by the first baseman.
Well, Pinecastle took advantage of their opportunities.
There's the delivery. There's the changeup. Swung right through it. 6 strikeouts for Kaylee Billerman. And they are 2 outs away from bringing the state championship back to Orlando. You know what I liked in a rural state like Iowa is that you win the state tournament and then like everybody goes out of town 10 miles and they have a big caravan coming into town, you know.
Like watching Hoosiers?
Yeah, just like that. There's a strike called. Samaniago is 0 for 3, but she did score a run in the first. Actually, she's hit 3 balls, 2 back to the pitcher and 1 to the first baseman. She's throwing a few more changeups here, isn't she?
It's a steady diet of changeups.
Bitterman trying to end with a flourish here. 1 gone in the 7th inning. That one is going to be a strike call. Back to calling the high strikes again. And it's 1-2. Kel Lineff along with Mark Human from Winter Springs High School. There's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. I'll be going to Winter Springs right after this game.
Right down Tuscaloosa.
Yep, right on Tuscaloosa Drive. Tuscaloosa Road, I guess. Right off Red Bug Lake Road. I love that name. 2-2 the count. Foul straight back. Boy, if you like recreational ball of any kind, that Red Bug Lake Park is pretty chock full of stuff, isn't it?
Soccer, basketball, softball, a nice playground for the kids, a nice lake you can go out on and fish.
Had a picnic there about a year ago.
We just had one Sunday there.
Here's the 2-2, and that is swung on and missed, strike 3. Gearhart has to tag the batter to make it official. And the Pinecastle fans are on their feet. They are ready to celebrate. 2 gone, top of the 7th inning. Here is Gina Capitini, RBI single in the first, and other than that, nothing. 2 runs in the first and 1 in the 6th. But to Bitterman's credit, she stranded a runner at first and third in the 6th. Stranded a runner at third in the 5th. And stranded 2 runners in the first.
Yeah. That first inning was big because that was first and third, no outs.
Yes, it was. She got him 1, 2, 3 after that. Started a string of 8 consecutive batters and 12 out of 13. Alrighty, here we go. This could do it right here. This could be state championship time. Swung and a miss.
She was going to try to tie the game up with that swing.
Capitini's hit a couple of home runs this year, but
the flag is just sitting there right now.
Nothing now. I have a feeling she's not going to get a very good pitch to hit. Well, that was a pretty good pitch to hit, but it was a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 1 the count. Bitterman wanting to put the wraps on it. There's a strike call. It's 1 and 2. Yeah, Coach, you're down to your last strike now. Grandview Prep might be a runner-up for the 3rd consecutive year. Here we go. Is this the pitch that's going to end it all right here? Nope, it's high. Count goes to 2 and 2.
Just wanted to tease us a little bit.
Yeah. Some people in the stands that probably can't take all this excitement. Bitterman trying to end it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Capitini awaits the delivery. And it is a changeup hit in the air towards left and out of play. You know, when you do make contact with a changeup, you usually, well, not usually, I guess you don't pull it. Usually you go the other way when you're fooled, don't you? When you're fooled on the changeup and you...
Yeah, you try to keep, well, the way I hit a changeup for me is to try to keep my weight back. If I'm fooled, then at least I can transfer my weight and hopefully get my hands through it and go middle or right.
But Capitini pulled that one. And it's 2-2. Here comes the pitch. Down low, 3-2. Going 3-2 on the last batter. Or what could be the last batter.
Takes a page out of Salon's book here and throws a full count changeup.
Well, if you're a batter, you've got to think that way.
There it is.
Yep, popped it up. And it's going to be in the screen or in the stands. And the count remains 3-2. 4-3. 2 runs in the 4th inning did it. But a big strikeout of Burgess with the tying run at third base last inning. Bitterman seeing what you can do to bring that state championship back to Pine Castle. Pitch is going to be inside, ball 4. We're going to have to face another batter. That is the second walk of the ball game for Bitterman, and now here comes Jane Salad. All she's done, coach, is go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
2 singles to right field, 1 an infield hit. So if you're going to have somebody up there you got total confidence in, Coach Catapano's got the one right there. Jane Salad, one way or t'other, playing her last game as a Pride player. And the pitch, ball, strike, no ball. I guess that was one of the fans yelling. That I heard.
Yeah.
Did you hear that too?
I heard it.
Thought it was the umpire yelling strike.
As a coach, you can't ask for anything more than this, to have your kids scrap and scrap and scrap.
Yep. Put them in a position to win. Here's the pitch. That's down low. Bitterman's got to start wondering whether she's lost it here. Struck out the first 2 batters. Then walked Capitini, who stays in the game to run, by the way. That one chopped over the pitcher's head. She's going to have to hurry to get her out of first. And no, she didn't. Beats out an infield single. 4 for 4 for Jane Salad.
Speed kills.
Tying runs now at second. Lead run, I love it when they call it the potential winning run, is at first base.
Yeah, the go-ahead run.
Yeah.
With
In
some
this
wheels,
case,
with some quickness.
Here comes junior Jesse Harms.
Here comes the gap here.
Coach's conference. Meanwhile, the first base coach goes out to talk to the first base umpire. Well, of course, Grandview Prep would like to have those first 2 outs back again, but with 2 outs, you're limited offensively as to what you can do. You just got to put the ball in place somewhere.
Become a cheerleader at this point.
Yep. That's all you can do. Coach Pitchard actually goes out to talk to his team while there's an offensive conference going on at third base.
That'll be the second one for Coach, so he initiated the timeout, so it's going to be charged to him.
All righty, so Bitterman's going to have to do it all over again. She had 2 outs, nobody on. Now there's 2 outs with runners at first and second. Harms, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. So the state tournament, folks, not to be dramatic or anything, but it hinges on this batter. She could tie it up, give him the lead, or get Pine Castle the championship. Resting on this junior's shoulders here.
This is so much fun.
It is. This is what you play all year for.
Yeah.
Situations just like this. 1 ball, no strikes, top of the 7th. Harms needs a hit, and that runner at second will be off and going. She hits one up the middle.
Single.
Center fielder's going to throw it home, and they're going to hold the runner. How about that? They're going to come in because the ball gets away from the catcher, and they tie the game. They had her held at third, and the ball bounced away, and in comes the runner Capitini from third base, and we're tied up.
There's certainly some fortitude on Grandview's part. 0 and 2 outs, nobody on base, 2 strikes on the batter.
You give an error in that, she wasn't going to score.
Yeah, probably an error in the catcher. She didn't swallow the ball up.
Here comes Hart, the young lady. Think of this, Coach. The only one to make an out in that first inning yesterday, made all 3 outs. She's 0 for 3 in this game.
She's now the winning run in regionals. And she has
yep, she did.
Chance to put 2.
Well, she's only a freshman. The weight of entire Grandview Prep school is on her shoulders right now.
I'm glad she can't hear us.
No pressure at all, young lady. Winning runs at third. Insurance run at second. Oh, this is actually a pinch hitter, Danielle Caudill.
Right, she hit last time.
Right, that's right. So she is.
Bunt and,
I'm sorry, it's not Hart.
That was a good cut, though.
Caudill, the designated player, they did make that change. I'm sorry. There's the pitch. Change up low. Caudill is a sophomore, so she's just a tad bit older.
She's almost a grandmother on this team. With all the young kids they have out there.
Tied up 4-4, top of the 7th inning. That one misses high. 2 balls and a strike. Taylor Russo waiting for a chance to hit. Bitterman had him. 2 outs, nobody on. And the pitch to Caudill. Grounded up the middle into right center field for a base hit. Scores 1 run. Here comes the second run. A 2-run double for that young lady, Danielle Caudill. Two-out rallies, Coach. Wow.
Kelly, that's why this sport is so much fun. That
a
was
3-run
was left for dead.
6-4 they were. They were down to their last strike. No clock in softball. You can just keep hitting and hitting until they get you out. Here's Taylor Russo. 1 out of 3 with a singular last time up. All of a sudden, the Grandview Prep fans are a little vocal. They pitch high, ball 1. Pinecastle was up cheering and cheering and cheering, and a little quiet on that side of the field right now. That one's a strike call. It's 1-1. Well, looking ahead, Pinecastle has 8-9-1. That's been pretty productive. 3 for 5 among those 3 hitters.
It's a good day at the office. Nice pitch.
There's a strike. 1-2. Kel Lineff along with Mark Human from Winter Springs High School, watching the Class 2A championship, and the drama continues to unfold. The pitch is going to bounce in there.
Good stop by Gerhard.
2-2. Danielle Caudill didn't even think she was going to play today.
And now she's got to feel on top of the world.
Oh, man.
Watch her body language come off that base. She's going to just, if she gets a chance, she's going to run hard as she can.
Pitch high. As soon as the inning ends, one way or the other, whether she scores or gets stranded at second. Maybe we can get a camera on her. If the inning ends, she's going to be one happy young lady. Here's the pitch. Grounded towards third, over to first, in time. Yeah. Doesn't look all that thrilled, does she? Well, they scored 3 runs to take the lead. 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. All righty, we're going to the bottom of the 7th now, 8-9-1. It'll be Gearhard, Heffelbauer, and Carasoni as the Pinecastle Eagles. I'm not sure if they were the favorite or not. I don't know who was ranked higher, but they've got a last chance. This is why you want to be the home team.
I think Pinecastle was #1 in the Miracle Sports rankings, but those don't, when a one-game format, those don't always mean a lot.
No. All righty, so now the pitcher, Jane Sallin, had some work to do. She's retired 4 in a row and 6 out of the last 7. Billerman had her right in her back pocket with 2 outs, nobody on, 2 strikes on the batter, and then all of a sudden, Caputini walked, Sallin got a single, Harms got a single, Caudill got a 2-run double, and 3 runs are in. Pinecastle, look at some of the fans just wandering around with weird looks on their face. They just can't believe what they just seen. Sallin's taking a long time to get out to that pitching circle. Don't they have to get out there in a certain length of time?
They're supposed to get a minute between innings. There she is.
There she is. Taking her warm-ups. They're fortunate if Sallin gets in trouble. They do have Sharp, who is a pretty doggone good pitcher at 1.57 ERA. All right, bottom of the 7th inning. Pinecastle has to get 1.
I can tell you about being around these kids. Sallin does not want to come out. She's telling her coach right now, I'm not, coach, I'll take care of it.
You say Pinecastle has to get 2 in order to stay in this game. The number 8 batter is the designated player. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. Kayla Gayton going to come in to hit.
Right. She ran earlier, so she'll be in to hit. And it's going to be slapping with some speed from the left side.
It's only a 150 hitter. She only has 3 hits all season.
Coach is just hoping she puts the ball on the ground in play.
And she pops a foul just out of play. Gayton behind in the count, 0-1. Left-handed batter. Heffelbauer is due up next. We're not in a position where we can see the on-deck batter, so we don't know if she's going to be hit for. The 0-1, she bunts it, foul.
She's got some speed. If she could have got that fair, she'd have had a good chance.
0-2 the count. Kayla Gayton. Young lady's only batted 20 times this year. Apparently they've used her a lot as a pinch runner. She scored 11 runs. Gayton will let that one go. Well, close to be letting that one go. That'll make your heart skip a beat, won't it?
I tell you, that was tough.
Ooh, 1-2.
Just say good eye, young lady, good eye.
Yes. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Sallin trying to get
her curveball.
Championship. Bunts it in the air, and it is in the screen.
She's working hard up there.
So we mentioned Grandview Prep, 2 consecutive years as the runner-up, figuring it's their time. And unless Pinecastle scores at least a couple, the umpire doesn't have any softballs. No, I guess that's not the problem. They're going to have a little something. Bunted. What are they?
I think that's probably what they're going to ask, if she bunted or she went around, and then she slapped. She didn't bunt.
Okay. Well, apparently she's going to stay at the plate.
Oh, I think he called her out.
Did he?
I see the reaction. Mark's reaction wasn't.
I didn't see the arm come up.
No, but I thought Mark's reaction was one of disbelief. Nope, he didn't.
That's still 1-2.
That's why I don't buy lotto tickets.
Not very lucky, are you? 1-2 the count. Gayton awaits the next pitch. And she got it off of the third baseman's glove and an infield slap single. Just out of the reach of Jesse Harms. In fact, shortstop Caitlin Conrad did a dive for it and couldn't come up with it. Gayton's going to be at first. And here comes the potential tying run to the plate. Anna Heffelbauer, senior, sacrifice bunt in the third, RBI single in the fourth. In fact, it was on her base hit that they sent the runner Gayton to try and score, and she got gunned down at the plate.
You can't ask for much more than this effort these kids are putting out.
Here's the delivery. That's a strike. Cappuccini pops up and looks like she's going to fire to first, but runner gets back. Pine Castle with the tying run at the plate, 6-4. Grandview Prep leads it.
Heffelbauer has a little bit of power. He doubled off the bottom of the fence last night.
There's one pop foul and out of play. And the count goes to 0-2. Well, so far, Salland has struck out 7. In fact, 3 of the last 4 outs have been strikeouts. He's only walked 1. Count remains 0-2. Here's the delivery. High and tight. Capatina looks like she wants to pick somebody off base.
Yeah, she's real active back there.
Yes, she is. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Can't see from the monitor if the right fielder's moving. Maybe she's not throwing because the right fielder's not moving in to back that throw up.
And there's a ground ball snared by the third baseman. They look at the runner at second. Almost took too much time. And it throws her out at first. That runner on second right now, for the whole scheme of things, doesn't matter unless she scores, of course. But got to get that out at first. Here comes Emily Carasoni. 686 hitter, but she's only 1 out of 3. But that one was an RBI triple in the third inning. Look how far the right fielder moved back this time.
Sure did.
Holy cow. You almost
If she
beyond
goes back
the
any
fence.
further, she's going to play in on top of the hill.
Yeah. She's way back there. There's the pitch. Can't see the left fielder from where I'm. Can you see where she is?
She's back and playing to pull. Center fielder straight away. So she's got a gap down the left field line and in the right field, well, not so much in the right field alley, and down the left field. She's got the lines. They're playing her in the gap in the alleys.
1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Change up, misses, and it's 2-0. Carasoni, a smart batter. You can tell that just by the way she held back on that one. That was a hittable pitch.
She's looking for something to drive right now. She's got 6 legitimate out-of-the-park home runs and then that in-the-parker yesterday. And she hit the bottom of the fence today, so she has the power to tie this game up.
The pitch, she swung on it. That's exactly what was on her mind right there. But she swung through it. Going to be an Auburn Tiger here before too much longer.
We like her anyway, but...
Traitor. Carasoni with the pitch. Grounded 1 hop right back to the pitcher who underhands it to first and bounces it over there. Let's show a little more aggressiveness there from Sal.
Got a little excited.
Make your heart skip a little bit. 2 outs. Becca Carr, the last hope now for Pine Castle. Coach, a few minutes ago, they were ready to celebrate and bring that trophy home. Now they're in the opposite position. Now they know that one more batter and this could be over for them. Outfielders are gathering together out there too, trying to
call this the ebb and flow of high school athletics. 1 second you're on top of the world. The next second the world's on top of you.
I mean, they really were. If you look back at the top of the 7th, Bitterman struck out the first 2 batters. Was 2 strikes on Caudill. ended up walking her. But even then you thought, well, they're still in control. Then came the single by Salin. Then came the single by Harms. Then came the double. And all of a sudden, bingo. You got yourself a 6-4 lead. Or a 6-4 deficit that you're looking for. Here comes Carr. Ready to see if she can get at least one run in. Or can Salin end it all? The senior Becca Carr playing her last game, maybe her last inning. And she will take a pitch in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. They're not going to chance her coming in. You don't want to pull a Babe Ruth in that famous World Series and make the last out trying to advance.
Don't need to go anywhere.
One ball, no strikes. Salin kind of looked like old Al Robotsky there behind the rubber, trying to psych herself up. Here's the pitch. Outside corner. One ball, one strike.
Catcher's doing a nice job of framing that pitch.
You can get a couple calls a game probably by doing that.
Capitani sure got that one.
Here's the 1-1. Look at the way Salin just kind of bouncing up and down. She's excited. She wants to get this over with. Fouled away, and you're down to your last strike on this side. Pinecastle knows exactly how Grandview Prep felt. Can they do it too? Runner at third base. Carr down to her last strike. One more out, and Grandview Prep wins it. Here's the delivery. Grounded into, no, the second baseman stopped the ball, throws to first, not in time.
Oh, she's
then
out.
she's tagged around at first base. Look at that. She didn't know whether to go to second base or stay at first, and she got tagged out.
When she made that commitment, that was all the umpire needed to see.
Wow. Where's your first base coach? One run on 2 hits. No errors and nobody left on base. Well, Coach, how exciting is that for a finish, huh?
What a wonderful game that was.
Final score, 6-5. Grandview Prep wins its first state championship. And are they ever happy out there celebrating? But boy, oh boy, Becca Carr, she didn't really round first base. She ran through first base. The ball got over the first baseman's head. She did a couple of like head and shoulder things.
She made that commitment. When she came back, when she turned left, then she was fair game.
And she got tagged out. Heads up play by the defense to fire it.
That was
first.
Salin, I think, that got her.
Wow.
Backing it up and then coming and putting the tag on.
So Grandview Prep wins it, getting 3 runs in the top of the 7th and withstanding a very exciting finish in the bottom of the 7th inning to retire Pinecastle and send the Eagles home with a 2nd place trophy. Well, Coach, I enjoyed having you here. Good luck the rest of the evening, and I'll probably see you the rest of the week.
All right.
All righty, that's going to wrap it up here for the Class 2A State Championship, won by Grandview Prep. Final score was 6-5. We'll have the championship presentations here shortly. For Coach Mark Human, I'm Kelly Neff.